Okay, so DK Jungle
Wait, we're
Parkway.
starting now, or
I
I'm
think
not
it
sure. I'm not
started. It
sure. I'm tired.
says stream stopping, which is stream stop, but it's already started clearly. And yeah, it has the killer bit, so it has to have started. We see Claw here taking the turn. It's taking it quite well. Oh, okay, so let's see how Claw can use those trip reds. He probably won't use them too soon, given how close Trippy is. Oh, he is pulling away from Trippy, though. He could throw those forwards. They are 1, 2, 4, and he does throw them forwards. He could wait. He could. Oh no, it's lag, and it might hit Spade. And yeah, the red hit Spade, but there's another red, and it's going for Keita. It's bananas outside the cannon as well. Did not get a box.
You could
That
wait.
might cost them.
Flag and it might hit Spade. And yeah, the red hit Spade.
And he gets trip bananas. Let's see how he can use these. Maybe he just wants to fend off Keita. Yeah, it looks as if he's just going to hold them and schlag. Oh no, he's going to throw them forwards, I think that was. Miss both of them, I think. He's got a shroom now, though. He could... Yep, he's going to take the cut here. But he got back greened, and that's going to cost him dearly. And he's now in 5th coming out of the cannon, and... Oh, he got redded as well, and there's a bomb! He gets an 8th place box, it's a star. What can they do? I don't think there's been a shock yet. He chains, there could be a shock. He does get the golden as well. This could be good. No, they didn't have shock, and QNT had the shock. And that's not going to be very good for Claw's race. And he hits a banana. That could give him last place, and it does, as Zach passes him on the final turn. And, oh, that's such a good race. And QNT are absolutely dominating Insurgence at the minute. Okay, so let's see what tracks are being chosen. There's a few BC3s. It looks as if there is definitely a want for BC3 with 4 votes, but Toad's Factory has 2, and it could very easily go to any track because it is all random based. And it looks like we're seeing MC3 this time. MC3, quite a luck track for people. It might be beneficial to IRC with their bottom spots. Let's see how Claw does here. He does get bumped quite heavily. There is... Oh, yes, and he does drop some spots. And he is bumped by his own team as well. That's going to put him in last place. But as I said, it's a luck track. It doesn't really matter what happens until lap 3, as we see a few other people bagging for boxes. So he's going to chain his star. You could very easily assume that him chaining his star there's just kind of a show that he knows he can get something better as he gets a star in a better spot, which is arguably going to help him later on if they can get the shock. You would not expect a shock to be lap 2, though, unless it was like right at the end of lap 2 and it was trying to just be an early one. But they do back green, doesn't hit him. Someone is in a bill, it's Sammy in a bill. And Akio is trying to get the boxes in front of Claw. I don't think Akio knows that Claw has a star. I don't think they do know. And he is in his star. He chains it for another star. This is very good for lap 3. He uses the star. QNT are in a dodge as well. I think that's a dodge for Claw, and he will be getting first place this race. Of course, he didn't have to wait on the line there because the shock had just happened. There was no real way for a blue to hit. But I think that was still probably a good race for QNT. But, oh no, IRC getting top 2. Top 2 probably saving them that race. Not enough to give them the winning race, I don't think. But top 2, 7, 9, 10 for IRC. Okay, so he's going to be voting, it looks like a Bowser Castle 3 vote. And 4 people straight away on Bowser Castle 3. 5 people. Looks like the whole team would like BC3. Let's just see what happens as we see a Peach Gardens vote, a Daisy Circuit vote, a Raceway vote, a Mushroom Gorge vote, and a Bowser's Castle vote. Not too sure what the logic for some of those tracks are. I understand IRC has top 2, but they do have bottom spots, so I guess QNT were looking to break the mid spots, trying to get someone up there. At the same time, IRC were probably just trying to hold on to their top 2. But yeah, we'll see what happens here in Bowser's Castle Wii. Once the race loads, there we go. Okay, so he gets his first set. Let's see what he can get in first place. It's a banana. Trippy is right behind him, though, so he can't pull that out. Someone does have a TC first set. That's not going to go well for them. That's Watek with the TC, and it looks like Claw could break slightly. Of course, this is quite a long track. There's probably going to be a few blues, if not a target shock. So we'll see as he does get bloopered, but blooper does not affect him at all. He's going to be on the straight with a green. Maybe he might back spam it on the... No, he does not back spam it on the ramp. You'd assume he'd try getting some other item, but it doesn't look like he wants one. Oh, and the shock comes for lap 2 for QNT. Early lap 2 as well, which means we might see another one towards the end of lap 3. Claude does get the shroom though, so that does help him out. Maybe we'll see Claude taking a cut. No, okay. That's not going to happen. I don't know what I'm thinking there. That's the wrong side for the cut as well. There's a back fib. He does use his shroom. What does he chain? It's a single red. I don't think he's going to be close enough for that to hit anyone at this stage. I think the best bet for him would probably be to hold second, unless they have a shock or a blue. I don't see him getting first. I don't see it happening. No, there is a blue! And Claude does get out the way of the blue quite well. And all that's left for him is to hold the spot, hope that there's no blue. There is a shock, though. It looks... There's another blue! Oh, this is bad for Claw. And it looks as if QNT are getting the majority of top spots this race, unless IRC can pull something like a POW here. It's going to have to be a golden for Claw, but that is not enough to avoid the star. And he's going to have to run away with 8th place there, as I think QNT get the winning race. No! IRC with a 2-3-4. That's quite a close race. You wouldn't have seen that happening given what you saw around the spiral, but IRC holding on. That was a lot closer than it probably should have been, some could argue. As if I do some math, that's 48. Hello. Okay. Yeah, it looks as if IRC are getting 107, and that would give 137, I think, to QNT. Okay.
Good evening, indeed.
It's the lag that's the issue, I think.
I saw him change the audio delay, so it should be fine as we get Daisy Circuit.
I'm going to watch off Claw's stream.
I wouldn't.
No, I can't watch her anywhere else.
Oh.
I will leave you to the cast for now.
We're seeing Daisy Circuit. Again, quite a luck track, but given how QNT are kind of pulling away, it could happen for them.
Well, anyway, yeah. Sorry about the technical difficulties that we went through early. Obviously, we're trying to find a suitable person who can actually host these streams, but now both of us are here. My Skype's up and running, and hopefully, as you've been doing a good job, alone, Tom. But yeah, this looks like a pretty close match, as we've seen some of the tracks like MC3 and BCW. But yeah, it's definitely a good start to the season.
It's a good start to the season because we're getting to see kind of how teams work. We're getting to just generally see like how this division should play out, because IRC and QNT were quite highly rated in the division.
Yeah. These are two of the teams who can easily win the division.
Yeah, they're two of the three that you could kind of put in and guarantee that they wouldn't have like drama or anything.
The good thing is that this is the first match, is that both of these teams, as you said, can easily win their division. In my opinion, Division 3 is the closest division, as we do see Claw actually holding a Mega here in 8th, which indicates they probably do have a shock, since holding a Mega in such a bomb spot. First match is that both of these teams, as you said, need to be more.
And there was the shock for the first set, and he does get the single shroom. He will, of course, be taking the stair cut.
This is going to take him to a top spot, maybe even second.
It's given him third. I think if he tries to go for second, he'll be wheelie bumped. He does get the shroom. He's not going to be able to use it too greatly, given how late it is.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get a box, so that's going to...
who's in first?
I don't know, but looking
this could be a very good QNT race.
I would say it might be IRC in first, because QNT have the daisies, I think.
If IRC was in first, then
that's quite a good race for IRC if they were in first, but we'll have to see. Yeah, it was Tricky Sam.
1-3-4-6. That is a very good race for IRC. I'm not sure the exact winning race scores, but that's definitely going to bring him closer to actually winning this match and close to the bonus point. How many races have we done exactly? I haven't been.
I think this is the 6th race.
Oh.
I think that was a 37 to 24 race.
Yep, Luke's just said 37.
IRC. Sorry, I haven't really done maths too much recently. I've not really.
Alright, KP said there's no lag.
Okay, that's fine.
Alright, so finally, we do apologise about yesterday's delay. This is basically just practice. We want to make sure that all the matches are like good to watch. We want to make sure that you guys actually enjoy watching it. That's the main reason we're actually doing this. So hopefully, as I said, let me get the score for you, mate.
Let me just add that onto the current. That would be 169 to 197. Okay, so let's see what happens in the next race, which has been picked. It's BC3. Given the top spots, it should be an okay race.
I mean, BC3, as you said, it's one of them races which that shortcut is really overpowered. I mean, you'll see.
And it's not being picked because it's a sit DC.
It is a sit DC, so I do apologise about that one. And I'm going to take a quick 30-second break just to reload my Skype, and I'll be back by the time the next race starts. Hopefully.
Okay. But yeah, I don't think this race will be counting because on the results, they had a 1-3, I believe, last race. And yeah, Claw started in second. So one of the front players DC'd, and it's meant that the majority of the room is having a sit DC at the minute. You can see on the mini-map. That probably is good because it kind of stops the opportunity to have that track. It makes it less likely. So if a team wasn't too fond of it being picked, then it's probably good luck for them. I mean, of course, it can very easily just be picked again, but it's kind of not something that's happens all the time, just getting picked straight away. Okay, so let's see what happens as we wait for the stream. Okay.
Hello, I'm back.
Hello.
And we are connecting to Weebfy, it seems.
Yep, they did end up sit DCing.
Was that whose reset used? Because I wasn't really watching at the time.
Not too sure, actually.
Oh.
We didn't see who DC'd.
Oh, fair enough. I think Zach did come last that race, so maybe it was him that DC'd on Daisy Circuit, so that's an IRC reset, but we're not 100% sure going into this next GP, I guess, since we have to do the reset.
And I'm having to reset my Twitch chat because it constantly is crashing because my computer doesn't like it.
My computer doesn't like my Skype either, it's fine. Alright, so hopefully, there you go, room's up. Hopefully the player's going to be joining.
Yep, hopefully it'll be a quick join and we won't be sitting here for like 25 minutes. Oh, no, sorry, there's a rule, isn't there now?
I'm pretty sure if you don't join within 15 minutes, it's
a 15-minute rule.
I'm not sure if that's part of the striking system or if it's a straight-up penalty. Because there is that new striking system which goes out to things like mean aims, which players will just be given a strike, and if they continue to do it, they'll just be banned from matches instead. Which, honestly, I think is a good idea.
It is a good idea. I mean, some people preferred having, like, straight penalties, but, of course, if there is constant issues, then
Yeah, as Luke's just confirmed in the chat, IRC used their reset for race 1, which means they are out of reset, so possibly they could be 4v5 and a whole GP if one of them do DC, which is going to be very hard to come back from. So hopefully Zach can stay connected and the rest of the team.
Let me quickly have a look on the rule set of CSL.
Yeah, that'd be useful.
Of course, when this being the first kind of war, we're not quite set up on having like all the tabs open and knowing exactly what to have open, but
Yeah.
strike system, instead of point penalties being issued for minor rule violations, so what rule violations are they? All rules in section C. Hosting. Okay, hosting. Let's have a look at hosting.
Hosting, I think that's sad tech. I think that's futile.
Okay, I
He does
think
host quite a lot of wars, and I'm pretty sure I saw him.
the strike system does have hosting on the list of rules that count.
So is that one strike if hosting doesn't start?
It would be a strike,
Okay.
I believe.
Do you have like what? How many strikes equal what with you? Or
The first rule violation is a warning. The second is 2 strikes, which is a player banned for the following match.
Yep.
And for any consecutive, it'll be an additional match ban added on to the previous amount.
oh, okay, yeah, I think that's fair enough.
And I think if you're clean for 4 matches in a row, the strike
Yeah,
counts reset. Oh, Ace has lost it. Yeah, having symbols doesn't really help. I've just seen trying to edit the tags. I've just seen that May has had the issue of the scent symbol not working properly. Okay, are you back?
Yeah.
You're back. Good. Let's
Alright.
see what it picks.
We're picking a bit of maze banners at the moment.
Picking a bit of Ghost Valley 2, I believe that was.
Yeah, that was Ghost Valley 2. I'm not sure who has top spots, but there was one team picking all Ghost Valley 2, which means one of these teams are going to be top spots. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be QNT since they were host. But it's 100cc, so anyone can easily get bumped off at the start.
Yeah, it's going to be easy to bump off, especially for the daisies. Because
yeah, if there's any
we do
daisies,
have some daisies. We have 2 or 3.
They're definitely going to have to be careful on this track. As it looks like one of QNT's members does get redded, and Zach's just redded his own team as well.
Or has run into the red there.
That was his own team as well. Like, you've really got to be careful about your surroundings when you pull out reds.
Yeah, especially in a competitive environment. Like, if you annoy someone on your own team, it can be like devastating for the whole team.
I mean, in particular on Ghost Valley 2 as well, it's not a long track. You can see top spots if you keep them, so something like that is obviously going to punish IRC, and now it won't surprise me if QNT get a winning race out of this, because there's quite a lot of daisies back there, and I'm pretty sure that IRC are most of the daisies. So I think this is a QNT top 2 right now. I mean, IRC are pretty mid spots. I'm not really sure what's going on right at the back.
Mid spots can be good enough for them so long as they, like, at this point, it's still close.
Oh, but QNT streaming up. I think that's a QNT top 3. If that's a QNT top 3, then that's going to...
There is a shock.
Only one person dodged, and it was a daisy back there. If that was QNT as well, that's going to be...
Oh, no, IRC did have spots up there, but I
they did?
It's not been good enough, and I think
he passed him,
I think Attack did pass.
I think this is going to be a QNT winning race for sure. Yeah, QNT getting a top 2, 4, 8, 10, which is going to be just increasing their lead.
I do
As you said,
apologise. That wasn't a tech.
that wasn't a
Tech
tech.
got last.
The tech did get
I
lost.
saw the K on the end and thought it was a tech. Sorry.
That was sad tech. I mean, as we said earlier in the race, Zach pulling out them reds on Claw was the main reason that Claw really couldn't get onto them top spots. I mean, he did pull some shrooms to get up there, but I mean, that's the main reason they lost that race, really, and they've really got to be careful when they're pulling out items.
Yeah, and as I said, if team rape does constantly happen, then it can very easily just end a team's war. I mean, I think we saw that in a few other lower team, like Abyss, last season in the few matches they played. Consistently, they'd be doing fine, and then suddenly team rape would start coming in, and there'd be like arguments, and it would just they'd suddenly lose the last GP by quite a lot. So hopefully IRC can hold on, and hopefully they do stay calm at the minute, because it's still anyone's game. They're only like 40 behind.
Yep.
And bonus points so close that they should, even if they don't think they can win, they should at least try and get it closer so that they can fight for the bonus.
And we are going into Daisy Gardens? Sorry, Peach Gardens, here, which is one of them tracks where your beginning spots really don't matter. Getting shrooms at the start is complete key to winning this track. I mean, if you can get triple shrooms first box, then you're pretty much gone.
Doesn't
As
look like
a single shroom in third. And it looks like Spade is in a mega, and that's going to be a top 3 right now for RC.
The bill, though, if you remember, does take wide lines.
Yeah, the
so
bill's not really good on tracks like this.
The person in the bill, you kind of want to use it as soon as possible if you do have the bill.
I just want to note out them triple shrooms that Claw just pulled is going to be absolute key, and he might even get a race win here because he can take the cut for the next 2 laps and still have 1 shroom left for any blues. If there's no power shock, that is, which there most likely will be.
I think there will be, because it looks to me as if QNT are in all of the mid spots that you can pull them in.
Now, I'm not really sure what's going on. Like, I don't know if this is suicide bagging or is it like no overlap or something, but there seem to be 2 players who are currently at the back for most races. I'm not sure. Do you know what rules were picked for this match?
I'm not. I would assume no overlap, given the 2 teams. Like, they're quite competitive teams.
I mean, if it is no overlap and they were bagging it, I reckon they could easily go back a lot further. Because
Claw has not done well there.
That's just a rookie mistake, really. He's lost his 2 shrooms, and now he's just going to be sent back. And if his team do have shocking, he can obviously get back up there. And if he pulls shrooms, I mean, the top 6 is pretty tight for lap 3 coming into.
Oh, there's a bomb, and that's a TC.
There is a shock, and it looks like a QNT shock.
Had the shock.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to pass this TC either, since his team are other side of him.
He might pass it to Spade.
Not. He could have slowed down for Sad Tech. There's so many attacks, I can't. So yeah, it does look like QNT are going to be in the top spots after getting that shock and dodging. Claw is going to be sent back here because of that TC. He's most likely going to get a shroom.
He's got shrooms, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get him up there, really. Looking at Spade's item, he's going to have to use them reds quickly to get Claw past, and Claw has to go for boxes behind Spade so that he can overtake.
Exactly. I mean, it's the only way you can really get up there on this track.
And Claw has 4th. I think if he gets trip shrooms, he could possibly... No, that's a blue, and that could be very good if it hits in time. But it doesn't.
No, he's past the line in time.
It's past the line, and that's not going to help them. And
that is going to be
Sam
unfortunate.
Getting 5th as well, so I don't think that was a good race for IRC.
Yeah, I think that was another QNT winning race, and the main reason was that shock. I mean, Claw got that TC at the end, which really wasn't that.
Okay, and Ace has just gone, so I'll finish his sentence. The shock and TC combo kind of killed, and there was another shock.
Now we're just waiting for the last 2 to finish real quick so we can see the results.
You can see the date.
It does look, yeah,
oh,
it's
top
2, 6, 8, 9. And QNT are currently running away with this one, and I'm pretty sure there's only 4 races left, so I don't want to say IRC are out of it, but I think at right now they're going to just be pushing for that bonus point.
Yeah, I would, as a team leader, if I was kind of in that situation, I would just go for the bonus point. I'd say, look, it doesn't matter how well we play here. We need to fight back. We need to show what we're made of. We need to, especially in week one, you have to kind of show
Yeah, you have to
everyone
put your
else in
team
the
on the board.
season. You have to put yourself on the board. If you don't get those early points, you can very easily drop.
Also, someone's just put a good idea in the chat and get a zebra. May, if you could, you know how you've put mine and Tom's name on the left. If you could put like the name of the streamer, if you just put Claw's name, like, see where that little green bar is under the stream. So like, in future wars, when we do change scenes, then people will be able to keep up with what stream they're watching. But obviously, we've only got one perspective for this, since Claw is the only person who can stream, since QNT are mainly an Australian team, and frankly, they don't have good enough internet to stream. So yeah,
Thanks.
there you
Who
go.
is it? Tony Abbott, I think they always cheer about.
Tony Abbott. But as I said, that was a 34 to 27 race. That's a plus
That's a +7.
+7. That's a +7 race in favour of QNT. So IRC are going to have to do some wonders in these last 4 races to get a win.
They have got BC3 though, and they
Talking
have
about
got
wonders,
some
that's a
daisies.
single shroom in second, which is very good on this track. If he can take that cut.
I think the daisy might schlag him, personally. Oh no!
This daisy does have a green shell. Hopefully he has an item which he can actually block the cut with his
The
infantry.
daisy's clearly trying to get in the way, and he did not manage the
Oh, but he's...
Oh!
Them
That
triple
is
reds from
so
that QNT
red.
member at the last second. But I think Spade did make the cut. Yeah, he did. So Spade's in first. QNT are like 2 and 3 right now, but Claw's unable to make that cut, being redded off, and now it looks like he's just going to play the catch-up game.
He has got a golden note, and he is using it quite well. He's probably going to be able to get a few sets here. Yeah, he gets shrooms. I wouldn't chain them there, and he didn't. No.
Can I just point out that daisy in the bottom middle of the track?
Oh yes, you can point out the disconnection.
I was thinking that one was coming. I was just looking at this daisy. I was kind of zoning out. I was like, why is there a daisy in the middle of the track? And that is going to be a DC, and that's mass DCs don't count as anyone's reset because obviously neither team expected it to happen. But it looks like that race is not going to count. But what was the race before that? Is it Peach Gardens?
Peach Gardens.
Yeah, Peach Gardens will still count.
That'll
So
be counting.
we still do have 4 races left. I'm not sure what the overall score is.
Well, you just let me just
I'll
add
put
those.
Is it just them 2 races on top of what we've got?
I think so.
Yeah. All right. If you can quickly add them so we can find out what the last 4 races are like.
So it's 240 to IRC.
Yeah. This basically Benny Binderhouse, or however you pronounce your name. This is basically like
No, it's not 240 to IRC. Sorry, I've done the wrong math.
We're going to be casting as many games as possible from throughout different divisions.
220 to IRC.
We currently have around 12 to 15 casters. Names like myself, Tom here, Jordan, KP, Eric, Hawk, Crash. And we're all just going to be bringing you games from every division, so everyone can see the variety of what CSL's like, because obviously we're going to have them top division matches, which are probably going to get more viewers. We're going to have the CT matches as well, which Tom here will be casting with Ross. So 258 to 220, is that right?
I believe so.
258 to 220, so that's... I mean, 38 points in 4 races is doable. That's just less than plus 10 per race, so I reckon they can get a win out of this easily. They can easily push for this bonus point, which is currently only 18 points away. So they just need to keep their form up, stay motivated, and try and get shocks, really, because QNT have been getting the majority of these shocks, and Zach's just not getting them, so that's why they're getting these top spots, and they need to calm down with the team rape as well. As we are waiting for the last GP to play, I mean, that mass DC, this is going to be a regular occurrence in CSL. I mean, sometimes in CSL, there's a load of matches happening at the same time, so there will be DCs. And we've just got to kind of... Oh, I think, Did Claw was the only one that DC'd?
Oh.
I think Claw was the only one that DC'd, because I just looked at May's screen real quick, and it said they were still 3 out of 4. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to cast these 2 matches, because...
2 races.
2 races, sorry. We're not going to be able to cast these last 2 races, so we will have 2 more races after this GP. And if anyone in the stream knows any contacts from QNT or IRC who are actually in the match still, if they could get race pick or scores, that would be Really helpful. And Jordan's just pinging me on Skype playing Spade DC2, so
Yeah, it's a 5v3. I'm sorry to butt in, but yeah, I've just looked on
It's a
Wimfi.de and it's a
5v3.
5v3.
I don't know what the rules are, but I think 5v3s are still allowed.
And
And there's no,
5v3s are still allowed.
yeah,
They're
and
they're
there's no
allowed.
resets left, so this I don't want to count them out of it, but
It
QNT
is going to be a game
Yeah.
over, I think.
pretty much.
Especially because the first raised lifeboat didn't have custom tracks on, so there's a debated -100 penalty for them as
Oh,
well.
really?
I honestly don't think they're going to be coming back. Well, definitely not.
No,
That
they're
minus
not
100
getting
is
it.
definitely going to hurt their point per
Hurt their points.
hurt their
Well,
point.
it's going to basically
If we
lose
lost.
them the war.
It's going to
So-
cut their points into a third by the end of this, given that they've only got a few races
we
left.
will still bring you the last 2 races, but them playing a 3v5 with no resets, I mean, QNT should run away with this match, and honestly, I'm happy to see this. I did want to see Quintessence win this match. Everyone was hyping up IRC a lot to
Well,
win.
I
but
told you
think they
in my
can.
predictions.
Yeah,
I
your
predicted
predictions were
Quintessence
QNT to win, so
My predictions were QNT to win, and I'm going to stay by that one.
they're off to the 10-0.
They
Yeah.
are off the 10-0 the way this is going.
If it carries on at this rate, and it is probably mathematically possible for
With the -100, it won't be.
yeah, with the -100, they're obviously out of it, and they're even.
I don't know if that's still happening or not, because as we
But,
said,
yeah.
Lifeboat came on. He played race 1 with CT. He's disconnected. Then he disappeared. But they're still going to get the penalty probably.
Well, yeah, because race 1 counted, so it's got to count.
I mean, this is going to be something which is. I was just saying something and just completely zoned out. Yeah, this is going to be something which the council are going to have to debate on about this lifeboat scenario, but. I mean, most likely, I think they will be getting a penalty because there was no proof that he streamed startup. He's enrolled on the disc conditionals, which say you do have to use white line, and if he doesn't use white line, then who knows? He could be hacking. He's probably not, and he probably just forgot. But
Hacking.
I mean, to
Someone
be
can
honest,
knock.
well, I've just been messaged by Claw on Skype, and he's saying they need a penalty for not resetting when 2 of us DC'd.
Well, no.
No, but I'm afraid that's wrong.
That's wrong. Did they
I'm afraid
DC
that's
within?
wrong because
What's-
5v3s are eligible, and they've already had their 2 resets.
They've had their resets, and I believe, don't quote me on this, the rule is the 2 DCs have to be in within like 5 seconds. Wasn't that the rule? I'm not sure if that's still the rule. They wanted to change it, I seem
Well,
to
Spade and
remember.
Claw DC'd at the exact same time, according to Claw. But I don't know if that's biased or not.
Well, we have no evidence, so no penalty can be given.
It's going to be the way it is.
It's
Yeah,
going to have
so,
to
yeah.
be that way because you can't penalise people if there is no evidence of it happening.
Yeah.
Alright, I just want to quickly say that May's the person who's currently hosting this stream, and he's had to go for dinner, so he's going to keep his stream overlay on so we can just wait for them to rejoin, but he's probably not going to be back when the stream's over, so if you do see just an offline stream of Claw's perspective, then that's when you know the war's over. I mean, me and Tom will quickly wrap it up. I mean, if KP wants to say anything as well, he can contribute, but yeah. I think this match is definitely in favour of IELTS.
I think this
sorry.
match is basically in the books now. The way I see it, I don't think there's any way of coming back. Especially, I don't know the way those last 2 races went, but if they went any worse. And by the way, just so I can let people on the stream know, if you want your match casted, like if you want a specific match casted, if you think it'll be more interesting, blah de blah, as long as it's not coinciding with another stream or another match, we'll be more than happy to cast it.
LD versus Midnight Wasps, I think, plays
That will
2
be at
hours
9 PM.
later. So
If they play 2 hours later, I'm fine casting that.
yeah. I mean, depending on what the lineup is, if I get subbed out, then I can help you cast if you haven't got someone.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to get as involved as possible in casting. I can kind of just fill in whenever.
I mean, I do like the opportunity of being given it. It is nice to just bring some recognition to the custom server league because MK, like, I like what they're doing with MKU, but it's really good that they can actually bring this over, and now we're doing it for MKW.
Yeah.
But as KP said, if you guys know of any teams who are doing a war in CSL which isn't happening at the same time with one that we're already casting, then feel free to add me or KP on Skype or
Well,
anyone.
as I said, preferably, because all matches are meant to be played at the same time, if you want your match casted, like badly, either play it later or play it earlier.
Yeah, if you do want your match casted, just play it at a different time. Let us know
Or
when you're going
I'll
to be
give
playing.
you another option. If it's on at the same time and you can't do it any other time, you still want to cast it.
Yeah, we
PM me
can
on
go over.
Skype and I will go back on your stream and I'll cast it. For
We
you.
can do a live replay of your stream, which means the match will already be over, but we'll just give live reactions as if we haven't seen it. So
Yeah, well, I'll make sure I don't
Yeah.
look at the results or anything
Yeah,
until
to
I
actually
watch
make it sure, so it's actually because if you're
Yeah.
already casting a war, which you know who's going to win, it's not as fun.
Yeah. Anyway, we're starting again.
We are.
I mean, honestly, as I said, if the council decide to give IRC minus 100, I don't think they're coming back.
Well, I don't think anyone has been talking in the CSL staff chat, but
No,
No,
they
not
haven't. They
currently.
haven't recently.
that would be where someone
Yeah.
would bring it up.
So I'm not
Or
exactly
even the
sure
council
what's
chat.
happening about that yet. But
It
even
does look
without
like
the minus 100, I still
Yeah.
think QNT is probably going to get this done.
Yeah, the scores aren't going to be correct because we did miss them two matches where I keep saying two matches. These two races where they did have to 3v5, but as we said, this is pretty much a QNT win. But we are bringing you the last two races here.
Well, we're going DK Mountain.
DK Mountain, which is one of the worst tracks.
Which is probably the worst track
The worst
overall.
track. I agree with that.
Well, that's debatable, but
I mean, it's debatable compared to Grumble Volcano and things like that, but yes.
it's certainly not going to help IRC, given that they probably are behind by quite a lot.
Well,
It's-
QNT I've seen already has a few daisies, and that'll honestly help them
Yeah.
on this track.
And I mean, IRC, if they're this far behind and QNT has daisies, I really don't see any
and that
form
bomb.
of run, and it looks as if
If
top
QNT
three-
have the daisies, then QNT are just going to win this track most likely because this track is known as the best daisy track in the game.
Unless you know how to play this track on
Yeah.
Bowser Bike, which, let's be honest, a lot of people
A
don't
lot
know
of
how
people
to
don't
do.
know.
And especially because this is known as it's in-game lag. This is known as, I think one of these
Yeah.
tracks, this track especially,
There's
is
a lot of
known
frame
for
rate
in-game lag. And I think the daisies can just, I think QNT are going to walk this.
It does look like we see 4 members of IRC back here, which does indicate that QNT are going to be at least 2 of them top 3 spots.
Well, I see two
one of
people
them top
bagging.
spots.
I mean, not. I see two people bagging back there.
It does look like they're actually doing what I said earlier. They're staying a lot closer to the back there.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's definitely overlap rules since they're staying ahead of first. Otherwise, they'd
I
be
see
way back.
QNT in 3-4-6. So
yeah.
they're not doing too bad.
IRC, we got Trippy Sam and Claw here in 5-6. I mean, DK Mountain is just one of them tracks where you can cannon dodge and get up there. I mean, it is a front run track. There's no
What is
shortcuts
Claw
for it.
doing? Okay.
I'm not sure what that shotcut was, but there is a shot coming in. I don't know who that is, but there's an IRC shot because Sammy does dodge in a
Yeah,
mega.
so Sammy's dodged.
I am not too sure that will help them at all.
Yeah, what I'm going to say from that shock is that kind of tells me that QNT are indeed in first. Otherwise, they would have dodged first in cannon.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
QNT is probably top 2.
I would agree with that.
I'm not sure if that guy in first is one of the baggers, which I think he is. I think the first place is the one behind the Rosalina currently.
Yes, yeah.
It does look someone's going to get a POW in 8th and hit Claw, so he's going to lose his streams. It looks like IRC are 6-7. There's no real item boxes left except for the last 2
Oh,
sets.
Claw
Oh,
gets
and he does
starred.
get starred, so
Oh god.
I think this is a
starred.
guaranteed 8th place unless he pulls a lucky 8th place bill and gets a
Unless
loss.
he can pull that bill here, I don't think he's gonna. Now triple shrooms.
It's
Unless
pretty
he can
much
get a
8th
dodge
place.
here and they can spam
Oh,
the
someone
shot.
does fail the cut, so he's getting a complimentary 7th.
Oh,
He's
he
getting a
is getting the 7th place.
But I still think QNT's got top 2.
I reckon they got top 3 out of that.
Do you
I
think
don't
so?
think top 3. I definitely think they did have top spots.
I think they had top 2. Oh, actually, no, there's a Daisy there in 3rd, so that might be top 3 for them.
I think IRC killed 2nd, honestly. I'm not sure.
Possibly. We'll check. We'll check
Yeah,
results.
we will
anyway.
see when 30 seconds have passed for these 2 races to finish, the 2 baggers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the problem when the streamer doesn't have battle bug. You can't really tell.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh, no, see?
Oh.
See?
IRC!
It's a 1-3, but they do get that 7-8-9, so
It's
that's pretty
still
much
it's
gonna...
still 2, 4, 5, 6 for QNT though.
Yeah, pretty much that race is just going to be like +3 or something.
Yeah, it's not going to
It's
get
very
them a lot.
useful.
And going into the race, even without the minus 100, I'm pretty sure going into this last race, it's mathematically impossible for IRC to win this
Even
match.
without the -100,
Yeah.
I don't think.
Which means
IRC is winning
QNT are
this.
going to be taking the first ever win in CSL Season 5, and KP's very happy with that. Since
I'm very happy. My prediction's right so far. I am very happy with this.
I mean, we've still got Meme Team, who obviously, in my prediction, they haven't played yet.
They haven't
Meme
played,
Team
no.
versus QNT is going to be a good match.
Well, Meme Team will be playing today, obviously. I
Yeah.
don't exactly know who they're against. I think, are they against
I think
DA? They're against Daughters of the Amazon.
Yeah, DA.
They're against Daughters of the Amazon. So that might be an interesting match, actually.
But I didn't realize how good QNT's lineup was this season compared to last.
QNT have had a
They've
very
got
good
Lucky,
lineup
Solar,
this season.
Verley,
Yeah.
and Nathan now, aka Justo, Futile.
Yeah.
And is ATEC bagging? I think he's the one bagging. I'm not sure. I know Zach's bagging for IRC. And the last track in the game is the almighty Desert Hills. What
Oh, what a track.
Praise Lord.
Shout out to Trevor.
Shout out to Trevor and the Hills.
Shout out to Trevor.
Trevor is getting the shout.
He's getting the shout out for Desert Hills.
And
I think what IRC should really try and do now is just make the defeat as little as possible.
I mean, we don't know how the other two races went. They could arguably still go for like top 5 bonus point or something.
Possibly, but if they get minus 100, then it's not going to help them.
Triple Shrooms in second. A tab out.
Triple Shrooms in second.
On here?
There's nothing to be sniffed at. I mean,
I don't know. I don't really know what's going on here. I just kind of tab back, but it does look like Trippy Sam's going to be in first. These Triple Shrooms, if he knows how to do the one hill strat, which is where you use one shroom, does he know how to do it? He does.
He does know the one hill strat.
So
He's used one
that
there.
means he's going to
Shroom
have one
first.
shroom in first. So
I would hold that personally.
I would hold it,
that.
but you never know. QNT could just pull a red here, and that's just going to completely...
I don't think second place got an item
I don't even
box.
think he got a box, no.
No, so
Or maybe he's holding a shroom as well.
possibly.
Which means any blues aren't really going to do anything since we've got this shroom in first, but obviously there's a target power on this next section is one of the deadliest target powers in the game
Yes.
because of all these tight turns. So let's see. He's not going to use this shroom, which is a wise decision. I'd hold on to it as well. He's got a decent break. He's just going to use it to dodge any blues if they happen.
I think IRC might have the blue, actually.
I'd just
reckon
throw
they-
it, honestly. If I'd wait a bit, I'd wait until the end, but obviously they can pull two, like QNT can pull a blue straight off.
It's a very close pack. If they had blue, I think they would hold it.
Yeah. But
Oh, there's a POW.
there's the power. And I think Claw's going to hold on to first, but
I
the rest of the
don't-
pack...
Oh,
he's
no.
got a break.
Oh no!
Oh, someone
no,
dodged in
he's not
second.
holding
I
on
don't
to
know
first,
who
I
that
don't
is
think.
coming up.
If they have a red shell, then I don't know who
If
it
that's
is.
IRC, though, is that IRC?
No, oh, I think that was Sam.
A shock normally means that there is a blue.
There's a blooper in the way, so we can't really see who's in second. But
So,
I do think
mm.
Claw's going to get first. We're just not sure
Yeah.
who's second.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Who is it?
Spade.
Oh, he's let Spade get first for some reason.
Yeah, top 2 for IRC.
Is that to let Spade get the 30 or something? I'm not really sure.
I don't know.
No, because Trippy Sam got first. I'm not really sure what that was, but
I think
Even
It's
though-
a 100 break or something.
it's just a bit too late, really, isn't it?
it is, because I think even though they got top 2, QNT 3, 4, 5.
3, 4, 5
3,
again.
4, 5.
Every time they get in top spots, QNT are just answering back by taking all their mid spots, and it does look like they're going to get the win for the last 2 races, but it's just not enough to get a bonus point either, I'm pretty sure. And
Yeah.
that minus 100 obviously may pop up.
Let's have a look. I think someone is talking in the staff chat.
Yeah, that's just Savannah's talking about DC rules. I'm not really sure what she means by that, but yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up this game for us. The first game of CSL.
Does anyone have the final score?
No.
We do not have the last 2. I mean, I think we should keep the stream up. We'll keep talking until Fred hopefully gets posted, so we can see what the final score was. But
Yeah, because we don't know what the other 2 races
let's
were,
start off with
unfortunately.
one of you. I don't mind who. What were your impressions on that match in total?
Well, for me personally, because I watched the whole thing because my phone was a bit off.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing from Claw's stream, and for the first, I think it was the first 6 races they were calling, and the call was being put on the stream, and it just seemed from race 1, since Lifeboat didn't have CTs on, they got that penalty, and from then on, they just were not in a good mindset, and that cost them the war.
And that, I think, was what I was on about, like, when I said if anything goes wrong and if a team kind of falls out, it can be devastating. And
Yeah.
I think we saw that in this. I mean, IRC were a perfectly capable bunch of players, but when it came to this, they kind of just lost it somewhere near the middle. They lost it kind of between races 3 and about 7. And I mean, the first few races where Lifeboat did get or should get the penalty, in my opinion, I'm not sure if they will rule it, given how minor the thing is, but technically it's still a rule break. I honestly just think they could have won if that didn't happen for them, if they didn't have the issue.
I'm not exactly sure exactly what's happening in the staff chat, but I think they're debating something about the fact that they
Well,
carried
don't
on with
worry,
that
we've all
3v5.
gone a custom track.
Oh.
Is this Hell Pyramid?
Wait, let me check for you. This is Hell Pyramid.
That's Hell Pyramid, isn't it? Yeah.
Hell Pyramid's not the best custom track, but
No, it's not the best custom track at all, but...
yeah, Tom, you gave your opinions, didn't you, from the wall? I just blanked out for a minute. So yeah, basically that's pretty much going to wrap up the first match. With thank you for anyone who actually stayed with us through all this technical difficulties, and as we actually know how to do this now, and we've got everything set up, hopefully the matches later will be casted better.
Well, the matches later should be okay now, because I think we know what we're doing.
The stream's going to stay up for now because May's currently eating dinner, so he can't end it. But if you guys have anything you want us to talk about in the chat, then feel free to just ask any questions about CSL in general.
I'll tell you what, you can give us a topic. Someone give me a topic and we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about something CSL related.
Yeah, CSL related, not all the other things.
Not politics.
Not politics, no.
Nick Clegg. Oh, no, he's not a thing.
Oh no, Nick Clegg.
I pretty much just agree with you two, though. I mean, the whole momentum thing in that war was the main reason that QNT won. Ever since that, I wasn't really here for the first 3 races, but from when I actually did start watching Tom cast alone, and then when I actually joined, it just did seem that the IRC were making mistakes. They were team raping each other, and they just.
It was because of that first race. It was because of lifeboats. I purely think if they hadn't used lifeboats and he hadn't not used custom tracks, I honestly think they might have been in a better mindset.
Who's streaming CT Wars? Well, the custom track division is going to be casted by fellow Tom here, and most likely Roscoe, who is the co-division admin with me of the custom track division. They'll be bringing you some of the matches. I'm not sure who's playing, but definitely one of the matches will be streamed from the custom track division. And
hopefully we can try to do all of them, because Sunday we're a lot more lenient with things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most of the custom track games are played on Sunday, and that means there's only going to be 3 matches for the whole day, so hopefully we can get all of them done. Because the custom track division is one of the most interesting divisions for me to watch and cast over, just because there's so many different things that can happen with all the different tracks.
Yeah, it's such an eventful thing, custom tracks, and it is. Yeah. It's kind of a beauty, but in itself, it puts people off because there are so many things that can go wrong, and there are so many tracks and so many strats to learn. But like once you get to know it, it's such an eventful kind of thing to do.
Yeah. Well,
when's the next match being casted? Oh, when is the next match being casted?
The next match, I think, might be...
I mean, the next available match which really comes up is the next match that's going to be casted, I guess.
Charge Brigade Gold and Wollywogs are happening soon, but...
That's going to be interesting.
Who's streaming or who's casting that?
Like I said...
Whoever's available, really.
Like I said, I'm available most of the day to cast most matches. Simon said he can cast a match if he's needed.
If Simon wants to cast, I'll let him. But I'll need to
as I said, I'm available if needed. But I don't want to. If people come up from the community,
as far as Roscoe, WZCB might be in half an hour apparently. So if that's in half an hour, that'll obviously be the next match we cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's going to be probably the most interesting match to cast.
Definitely.
On one, because that's Division 1 Tier 1 match, and it's the best 2 teams, arguably, in Division 1.
Yeah. Well, as Luke said, it might be in half an hour, and if it is, and as you just said from your point, it'll be the most interesting match. It's 2 teams who are very even, and we're going from Division 4 to Division 1. It's going to be
you're going to see difference in lines, difference in item usage, because that's the main reason which takes a D4 team. What the difference with a D4 team and a D1 team is just their overall teamwork. I mean, the chemistry between them 2 teams is insane. And it's going to be a lot different to like IRC, because they were team raping each other quite a few times. It's the main reason they kind of lost that match. But I think WZ and CB, you're not going to see that.
I think certain people in WZ and CB could certainly I think because the thing that happened with IRC, again, I know I don't like using this term, but they tilted.
Yeah, I don't like the word tilt, but
I
it's
don't
just
like
momentum.
it, but
I do agree.
it applies a lot because, unlike I think with Charge Brigade make a mistake, which happens very rarely. Same with Wallywogs. If they make a mistake, which happens rarely, they'll shrug it off. Okay, no big deal. If you have someone like Insurgence or I'll give another example: Insurgence, Lost in Time, Crossfire, people like that. If they make a mistake, it like sticks with them the entire war. Whereas people like Wallywogs can make mistakes, but that's okay because they can just get over it, go to the next race, and improve from there.
Do you want me to add Ross to the casters chat since he says he's casting?
Yeah, I will ask. You can add him there. I was speaking of Roscoe. Actually, I want to talk about his idea. Did he message you his idea?
Yeah. Was this about having like the main channel and then having loads of other channels casting matches which happen at the same time?
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about that. Yeah, because
All right.
it's an interesting idea. But my only problem with having, as you said,
what I said to Ross was basically I want to have as many viewers as possible for each match, so kind of have more like user interaction. If we have like 4 matches happening at the same time, and there's a D1 match and a D4 match, I honestly don't think the D4 matches are going to get that much.
No, the D4 match would get about like 10 viewers.
I don't think that's going to be fair, really. I want to have like each match getting as many viewers as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if there is like an eventful D4 match, like I think there might be that will be played at a normal time today. Like if it has to be scrapped, then of course either we can have 2 people that aren't streaming or that aren't casting at that time on, or we can do post casting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's quite a few options. Personally,
well, as I said about post casting, I mean, it's not going to be possible to do it on the same channel. 4 wars at once.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to be possible. So what we're going to have to do is if people can play earlier or later, like I said, we can cast you. If not, if you desperately want your match casted, we can go back, get your stream, and cast it then.
I mean, the main reason we're doing this is just to show each team and what each team's capable of. That's why we want streamers from every team, really. Yep. But yeah, if you can agree with a time which is not the normal default time with the other team that you're playing, please do that, and then just come to us and we'll be able to cast.
You'll be if you come up with a time that is not the scheduled time, and it's like
more than likely,
later, like 90%, we'll be able to cast that match.
Yeah.
Unless someone else has that time already, in that case we won't. But as long as you've got that, then I have no problem with that.
I mean, that's what MK World Cup did. They just casted a war, had a 10-minute break, casted a war. That's what I kind of want to do. I just want to have teams playing at intervals so we can just bring you different variety of gameplay. Like we're going from D1, D4 straight to D1, as you said, which is going to be a massive change in what the match is like. And it's going to be completely different to watch and cast. But for now, I guess there's not much we can really talk about.
Unless anyone else has anything else they want to say about CSL, I mean, honestly, about the penalty regarding IRC, I don't know what's happening with it. They don't seem very happy, and also the disconnections were all over the place.
Luke's on council, isn't he?
Yeah, Luke is.
Luke, have they said anything, if you're still watching, have they said anything in the council chat about that decision?
I'm also in council chat, actually.
You are.
I can tell you myself. Yes, but it was an hour ago.
Oh.
So
that's probably like most decisions don't get done on the day. They usually get talked about for a few days.
Okay, no, it is about this.
Oh, is it?
It is about this. It's about. Well, apparently they're debating -150.
Oh, really?
Whether that's gonna be the case or not, I don't know. Whether we're gonna find out till possibly the end of tonight.
Well, we've seen minor problems like that before get given the penalties, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they do give the penalty.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously want to try and be as fair as possible, but if people don't know the rules, there's not much we can do. Well, it's not if they ever don't know them or just don't follow them. I mean, I don't know the way that's going. But regardless, I think if there's nothing else to talk about, then
I mean, May's just come back, so
if
you do have any last minute questions, if you've got any last minute questions, just put them in the chat. But if not, we'll most likely end the stream, have a quick break, and we will give you 20 minutes notice. Let me quickly get a link for you.
Yeah.
Where's... I need to go find your thread so I can post it in the chat. I'll get it real quick. Alright, if anyone does want to know when when match is going to be casted, me or KP or any other casters, most likely going to post them on that thread.
Yeah.
And we'll give you about 30 minutes notice. So we'll say, as KP did earlier, IRC and QNT are going to be casted in around 20 minutes. So feel free, make sure you follow this channel because that's when, like, obviously you'll get notifications when we do go live and cast a match. But
Yeah.
if you don't have any more questions, I'm pretty sure we're going to wrap it up here. And we will be back for the next match, which might be WZ versus CB. We're not really sure what we're
If
going to
it's
do.
not WZ versus
Nice.
CB, it might be Battle Alliance, maybe.
Oh, well,
I don't know.
is that a Battle Alliance and Trust Alliance?
I don't know.
Hmm.
But I think it's more than likely going to be WZ2 because, as you said, LD and MW are playing 2 hours late. Energy and Zoltanite are playing, I think, an hour later.
Yeah.
So as far as the rest of it goes,
I've
mean,
been in the Zoltanite chat. They're playing later, I'm pretty sure.
so they're playing later. So yeah, I mean, no other questions then. What does CSL stand for, Brian? We did answer that question. Ace, as you said, Ace
Customer
answered that
service,
question.
lol.
Customer service, lol. Ryan
So
did
yeah,
answer your question.
we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you for
Yep.
watching. And as I said, just follow the stream if you want to see more streams and more casts. So hopefully we'll bring you a match shortly. I don't want to have massive breaks, but obviously if no one's playing a match, then we can't really do anything. But we will be back and we will give you notice when the next stream's coming up. And yeah, thanks for watching.